I've got my hands on the brand new Puma Deviate Pure Nitro, or is it the Puma Deviate Nitro Pure? Not quite sure, one of those. They've got a really interesting shape, don't they? Especially like the heel. It is as light as a race shoe. It has a race shoe foam, the Puma Nitro foam, but it doesn't have a plate. Kind of feels like this shoe is marketed as your jack of all trades. It's like a daily trainer that can also be used for speed sessions, so it allows you to pick up the pace when you need to. So you're meant to be able to do your daily runs, your tempo, your intervals, your long runs, your progression runs, and whatnot, all with this shoe. I am very curious to test them out through the whole spectrum of my pace ranges this week, share my impressions as I go, and then kind of see where they're going to fit into my own shoe rotation. The thing is, since we moved to Dubai, I found myself wearing carbon shoes for most of my sessions, which I don't really like that I'm falling back into this old habit. I don't think it's that good in the long run to wear carbon shoes all the time when you're doing speed training. So I'm kind of hoping that this shoe will help me reduce my reliance on carbon shoes in training. We shall see. I actually wore them for the very first time this morning. I had a tempo session on the track, which I did not film because I forgot my camera, and I also forgot to film the unboxing. I don't know how to do YouTube anymore. So the session was 5 by 5 minutes tempo effort with 90 seconds recovery between reps. So I wore them for the warm-up. They felt pretty good at easy pace, and then I did some strides, and I'm not gonna say they were flat, but I didn't quite feel the same pop, like the toe-off wasn't as explosive as with a carbon-plated shoe. And then when I moved to the actual session, to my tempo effort, I really felt like these shoes were great tempo shoes. You know, when you are at that sort of effort level, that comfortably uncomfortable effort, you don't need to push the pace that much. I thought they were brilliant, and I had a really good session. It did go better than I expected. This morning the reps came in at 358, 359, 357, 358, 357 minutes per K. It's too early to tell, but I don't know, I'm a bit concerned, or curious I should say, about the durability of the heel. On the website, on the product page, they say they are built to last 800 kilometers, which is longer than a proper race shoe. But if you use it as it is intended to, so you wear it several times a week, and you run every day, and you're, you know, like a keen runner, I mean, it's not going to last you a very long time. At the same time, this is a 130 pounds, I believe $150 shoe. It is cheaper than some easy shoes at the moment that have nothing special about them. So you know what? Good on you, Puma, for bringing out a shoe with such high quality foam at a rather decent price, I would say. The track this morning. It is 3 days later. I've got the Puma shoes on, and today I'm gonna test them out at faster paces. I've got some 2-minute reps at 10k effort, some 1-minute reps at 5k effort, and then some 30-second reps, kind of like pickups. I'm really curious to see how these shoes feel at those sort of paces. Warm up and strides done. Let's do this. Right, I've done the 2-minute reps, 4x2. If I had another pair of shoes with me right now, like if I had a pair of on-clad Boom Echo 3 or Adios Pro 4, I would swap for the rest of the session, but told myself I'm really gonna test these shoes, so I'm sticking with them for the 1-minute reps. I'm so not used to filming anymore. I dropped the camera. Oh god. That wasn't absolutely amazing, this one was. It does feel really different, the fact that there's no plate. I feel like there's less pop. I feel the effort a lot more in my hamstrings and quads, which is strange considering that these shoes have like really good foam. But I don't know, maybe I'm changing my running form a little bit, because there's less pop and I'm trying to produce the pop. Like, I don't know, I'm not a shoe expert, I'm not a scientist in any kind, but yeah, so far I wouldn't use these shoes for pure speed sessions. Thank God it was a rather short session today, because that felt hard enough. Yeah, that really did feel good, this one. So it was what, 4x2, 6x1, 4x30 seconds. Yeah, really not much effort when you add it up, but wow. Now it's quite hard to isolate the shoe and be like, yeah, this session didn't feel good because of the shoes and the shoes only, because I do feel a bit tired. Maybe I took my gel a little too late, and also it's incredibly hot. If you look at my paces, not looked at them properly yet, from what I was seeing on my watch, it wasn't too bad. It was roughly where they should be, except one rep, the first 1 minute rep, which was terrible. Shoes felt amazing Tuesday for tempo. I was really hoping that I'd feel really good in them today. That wasn't quite the case. I don't think I would want to do another speed session again in those shoes. 89% humidity right now at 5:04 in the morning, and it is 28 degrees. So today is another test of these Puma shoes. Puma Nitro Deviate Pure Deviate Nitro. Like, honestly, I'm getting a bit confused with the order of the words in this shoe name. So the plan today was to do a long run with a good chunk of steady pace and even a little bit of tempo. Considering the conditions, Ben told me, look, just scrap that. Just focus on, doing the easy run. But I am committed to the cause. I do want to test out these shoes at steady pace. I have started the review this week. I want to finish it this week. So I'm going to try to do a bit of steady today. Now I'm going to adapt the plan. I'm going to very much play it by ear. It's also not going to be the faster end of my steady pace. I don't see myself running at around 420 ml per K today. It's probably going to be like a 440, and that will really feel like a steady effort. And I don't think it's going to be a very long run. 2 kilometers in, I'm already dripping. So I've just gone through the gate that connects our estate to the next estate, where I'm going to attempt to do a bit of a steady block. There's a red track. We're going to get on it in a second. There you go. It's flatter than our lumpy estate, so that's going to work better. I'm going to start, I reckon, after 3K. My God, look at that. That's not water from the bottle, that's my sweat. Right, so I've managed 5K steady. I'm glad I did that. And you know what? These shoes are fantastic for this sort of pace. I would have had such a lovely run if it was at nearly 90% humidity. I would have really enjoyed myself doing this sort of pace with these shoes. I'm back on my estate. I think I'm gonna call it a day after 12K. Like, my legs feel amazing. That's really a shame. But my temperature regulation systems don't feel great right now. I don't really want to push the boat, because I feel like, if I get too exhausted from humidity, it's just gonna put me in the hole. Is it worth it? I don't know. I need to get used to these really high levels of humidity. If I can get used to that, I don't know. Like the past couple of days, it has really bumped up. You can really feel it. Okay, final words about these shoes. So I just wanted to mention a few details that I really like and I've not told you about yet. First of all, the tongue, I really like it. I'm not quite sure you're going to see. Basically, it's super thin, and it's only padded where you need it to be. So the upper is just really breathable, really comfortable. I also really like the grip of these shoes. I think the Puma grip is quite good. In terms of the foam, as I said, I think it's a brilliant foam, especially around my estate. Sometimes when there's not a lot of traffic early in the morning, I can get away with running on the road, but more often than not, I'm on the walkway, which is this really hard surface. It's like, I don't know, like tiles or even cobblestones. I don't even know how you would call that, but man, it is so hard. Like, you really feel the impact. And I do feel like from running with these shoes on it today, that this type of foam was a bit better at absorbing the impact. I didn't feel like I was landing as hard on this surface, so that's quite good. Another thing is they do run true to size. My usual shoe size is UK 4, and this is the size I went for with these ones, and yeah, they fit perfectly. Another thing is I feel like you've got decent room in the toe box. I really don't like when it's too narrow, and sometimes I go half a size up in some shoes like the Adidas because of that. And ultimately I decided to buy them because I did come across some glowing reviews about these shoes. Thorpe said it was, I quote, an unreal shoe after he did track sessions in those shoes. So I think I had, high expectations and high hopes. And unfortunately, I feel like the shoe, personally for me at least, falls a bit short in a way that it doesn't quite work across the whole range of paces. For me, it works really well for steady tempo, but proper speed training, no, I don't really want to do proper speed sessions in those shoes. It is the same case for Ben, interestingly. He also ordered a pair of these, tried them around the track this week, was not a fan. He ended up wearing another pair of shoes for his speed session. Do I regret buying these shoes? No, I don't, because they are absolutely brilliant for anything that is steady and tempo. So I'll be using them for my tempo sessions, for whenever I do steady pace, and for £130, $150, I mean, it is a bloody good shoe. Now, I think the answer for me to reduce my reliance on carbon shoes in training is to get back to this Saucony Endorphin Speed, which I used to really like, and they used to be my session shoe. They do have a plate, but it's a nylon plate. It is not a carbon plate. I think the Endorphin Speed 6 are due to be released at some point this summer. You best believe I'm going to buy those shoes. And yeah, I just need to get back to those and stop using my carbon shoes in training all the time. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have bought those shoes, I would love to hear how you find them. Have you tried them for speed sessions? Do you share my opinion, or did they work for you when you were doing proper speed training? I'm quite curious, and I would love to hear everyone's feedback. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!